Thanks for showing up. Appreciate that. I'm going to talk really fast because we only have 30 minutes and I've got 32 slides, but also I wanted to have a little fun today. Okay? So first of all, I don't know, have I met, and I'm sorry, I'm terrible with faces and places and names. We've met. Have you guys met me before and heard the whole story?
No.
Okay.
I just saw you out there at the table.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, good. I'm going to give you just the brief, real short bio. The reason that I'm involved in Terressentials, our company, is because I was diagnosed with inoperable non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, giant tumor, 30 years ago. And I was part of a government chemo experiment, which really wrecked my immune system. And I spent many years trying to figure out why I got cancer and how I could resolve all the immune system dysfunction that I was suffering as a result of the chemo and survive. Make sure I kept the cancer at bay. So I did all these different things, changed my diet, moved out of the city, drink distilled water, and started researching what I was using to take care of my body. Soaps, shampoos, all that stuff. And the long and the short of that is that what I found out was that these chemicals products that I were buying that claimed to be natural and organic were anything but. They were loaded with chemicals, and that just blew my mind. So the more research I did, reviewing patents, reading industrial chemical engineering textbooks, just a whole nother education, led me to finding out that what I wanted to use to take care of my body would be the things that I would put in my mouth, as close as I could to that. So that's my short bio. I wanted to, hopefully I'm not going to trip over some chords. But if I do, I'll try to rebound really quickly. So if you can bear with me, I want to have some audience participation. So I have some fun things, hopefully, that we can go on, because what we're going to talk about today is pretty heavy stuff. And I'd like to make it light, but also memorable. Okay, so right now, I'm not so good at, see if I can do it. Okay, this is us. This actually is at our crafting facility out west of Middletown. This is my flower field. I grow herbs and all kinds of native plants, and we've been in business for 27 years and have been in Maryland for 22 years up at our farm. So I had to slip that in there. Okay, where'd that slide go? Well, it's pretty slow. Okay. You've all seen scary factories, right? So what I'm wondering here is that we know that industrial factories and gas-powered vehicles, trucks, cars, are major sources of hydrocarbon from diesel and gasoline. Nanoparticles, that's that black smoke when you're behind a truck and it belches out smoke. It has nanoparticles of hydrocarbons, which are carcinogenic. So we breathe them, and they also land on your skin. Oh, okay, so we have factories like this, and here's the question that I had. What do these factories manufacture? Anybody? Okay, guess what? That was a good answer. So today, you get a prize. Yes, okay. This is our, sorry, I'm afraid I'm going to pull out this stuff. So that is our hand soap, real soap, Castile, not a chemical detergent. So when you use it, it won't hurt you. When it goes down in the waterways, it's clean, doesn't hurt the environment. So that's why if you pay attention and participate, we can have fun today, okay? All right, so let me click here to the next slide, which might be an eye-opener for all of y'all. Let's see. Okay. So many products in our daily lives are manufactured from gasoline byproducts. This is the crude oil that we are bombing people for in the Middle East because we want to get more oil. Well, out of a 55-gallon drum of oil, we only might get 2.5 gallons of gasoline out of that, and the rest goes to make scented petroleum-based candles with petroleum fragrances. Toxic pollution. Your bra. All plastic, soft plastic. You absorb the dyes and the chemicals from your bra. It compresses your breasts. Not good. Shoes, running shoes. Most of them are 100% gasoline byproducts. Yes, shampoos. and also household cleaning products. All not good stuff, and that's what comes out of the factories. So the factories blow air pollution and water pollution out, but also then end products that they produce that people buy are also not healthy for us. Truth bomb time. Okay, in the United States, industrial petrochemicals, this is a mind blower. There's no law that says that when they introduce a chemical to the market or product, that it has to be proven safe before they put it out for sale. I think that is really just, how can that be? It's in Europe, companies have to prove that things that they're putting on the market are safe, but we have no such regulation or testing. So thousands of man-made industrial chemicals are used in personal care products, lotion, soaps, etc., household products, all your cleaning products, clothing, textiles, bedding, clothing, nylon, polyester, acrylic, all comes from gasoline byproducts. They are petroleum-based textiles. Lawn and garden products, of course, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, and yada yada. Building materials, vinyl siding. There's a great video called Blue Vinyl. If you get a chance to check it out, it's a whole story of what vinyl is, what it does to the environment, and what it does to human beings. Electronics, they use soldering chemicals and glues in computers and phones. So it's terrible for the workers, but we're also exposed to these things. And as I'm saying here, these are used by probably billions of people around the world every day. So I'm trying to get a wake-up call here for everybody. Okay, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has said for decades that the air inside your home can be many times worse than the outside air. Anybody want to take a shot at why that might be so?
If the air doesn't have a chance to escape,
Ooh.
and it's right there in the house and you just...
Right. In the 1970s, we had an energy crisis, lines for gasoline when it was still 35 cents a gallon. And so what they started to do was tighten up houses so you didn't get air exchange. And today, people live with whole house air conditioning and heat. Their windows, they rarely open them. So all these chemicals are sealed inside your house in high concentrations. And, you know, we're talking about all these different areas, chemical fumes from paints and solvents. A lot of cars, you know, they're in garages attached to the house. Biologicals, I'm not really worried about that because most people are allergic to biological things because their immune systems are out of whack from the overload of chemicals. So I think because you hit the nail on the head with not enough air getting in, make sure I'm not, you get a prize. All right. So I think so far I'm good. Excuse me. Okay, personal care and household products can be a significant source of chemical exposure in your home. Did you ever think about that? That the shampoo in your bathroom and your lotions could be a source of pollution? They are, because they contain volatile organic compounds, and that is not like organic healthy. It's chemistry. And none of these bottles are hermetically sealed. And believe it or not, chemical gases can permeate the plastics. The gases can pass out of the plastic bottles through the plastic or through the cap. So when you bring stuff into your house, this is why it can be a big concern for people, and it should be something to be aware of. So all of this stuff. Okay, so toxicology experts, PhDs, for years, many years ago, they used to think that things wouldn't get in through the skin. You know, that we had this shield. Well, that's not true. And in the last 20 years, they have revised twice routes of chemical exposure. So the number one source is you inhaling stuff. You use a chemical shampoo, that's right at your head. Whatever chemicals were in that product, you're inhaling them. And then everybody else around you, even when your head is on your pillow, you're breathing whatever was on your hair. Skin absorption. The skin on your bodies is our largest organ, and our skin is permeable. I don't care if you have leather shoes and you go out in the rain, the leather gets wet. And that's cured leather. Our skin absorbs any water-soluble constituents when we rub it into our body. So they have to be aware of that. Now here's a new revision. Your third source is through your eyes. Same reason. Your eye is a soft, gelatinous organ, a little ball, and it's coated in water all the time. So if you have gaseous molecules, they're going to land on your eye, and you can absorb stuff through your eyes. So it's not just particulates or grit, it's gaseous materials and water-soluble materials. Ingestion, via your mouth. So that's, watching what you drink. Drink pure water. Eat, in my opinion, organic, pasture-raised food. One of your best things that you can do. And minimize eating food that comes in a package or a box. And then this was a new addition to the list, injection. What is in a shot? All different kinds of things. Stabilizers, preservatives, etc. So now that's been added to the list just in the last couple of years, which I thought was kind of interesting. Symptoms. Who hasn't had wheezing, sneezing, throat irritation, cough, skin rashes, hair loss, dizziness, migraines, confusion, irritability, hyperactivity, muscle weakness, joint pain, and of course eye irritation, dry, watery, itchy, burning eyes? When you're around these chemicals, this is how your body reacts. Some people may have multiple symptoms. Some people have the same chronic symptom. It's your body waving a flag and saying, something's wrong. And if you ignore that flag and go and pop a pill from the doctor, then your body says, oh, I gotta get her attention in another way. So it sends up another symptom. And if you ignore that, then you get another. And all of these symptoms weaken your body, puts you in a weakened state. So not a good idea.
I'm kind of curious about your graphic on the previous page. So that's a polluted earth.
Let me see if I can get by here. Sorry, hon. Yes, it was the best graphic I could find.
Or it's spewing out dollars.
I know.
That were, yeah.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
When you're buying these chemical products, most of them are made by big corporations. If you want to take a stand for your health and for the planet, we got to stop giving our money to these corporations, because if you give them your money and you buy their products, you are agreeing with what they do. So take a stand for yourself, for everybody else around you, and make a choice. And that's why I'm here, to get you some information so you can make an informed choice. So that was why I said, okay, we'll use that graphic. Yes?
There's an app called Think Dirty that my sister just told me about. Have you heard of it?
Just today, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But here's the woman who told me about it said, who put together that app? So here's the thing. If you look at that ingredient label and you ask yourself, did my grandmother use these ingredients in her cookbook? Were they things she kept in the kitchen? Because chemicals are made in factories, like at the first slide that we talked about. And man-made chemicals, remember that first little truth bomb, they don't have to be proven safe. Where are the long-term studies that say that these things are safe? Coconut oil has been used for thousands of years as a food to take care of the hair. It works, and you can buy it certified organic. That's just one botanical material. Plus, as humans, we evolved on this planet, and we evolved with all of these plants. So our bodies know how to identify and metabolize and work with all the natural botanicals that grew alongside us and that we evolved with. Man-made chemicals, it's a new thing. When your body is in touch with some of these things, it can send your body into an alert phase, like from Lost in Space. Alert, alert, whatever you will. That's what your body does. It starts sending up defenses. It stresses you. There's a great holistic doctor out there, and she was talking about how these assaults, these chemical exposures, can drain your adrenal glands and make you tired. It just wears you out if your body is in a constant state of defense. Does that answer the questions? Okay, good. Okay, inhalation, right? Number one source. But think about it. It's not just you and your kids. Any pets you have in the house, they're breathing the same thing. And pets are having a lot of health issues. There are epidemics and crises in our animal world as well. So that's why we included that cute puppy. Inhalation, your primary source of toxic exposure. And we talked about this again, but I'm just going to outline in a reminder. Personal care products, cleaners, disinfectants, spray things, laundry products, building products, vinyl wall coverings, gypboard, treated with chemical preservatives, and all that stuff off-gases. It's called off-gassing. Carpet, vinyl. I'm so glad people are getting away from vinyl in the house, but that's even your shower curtain. If it's plastic, it's a problem.
What about wool carpet?
Well, wool ideally is great, but you really need to talk to the company because remember mothballs? A lot of wool carpets are treated with chemical pesticides to repel the bugs. And they do other treatments too, so you really have to do a lot of research to find out. And there are companies that are making natural wools, but you have to research it. So yeah, I think wool is a great natural material to use. Okay, people still use pesticides in their house. In their kitchens, they use bombs and things. And by the way, people who use these chemical bombs for fleas or whatever, that's a gas and it permeates your walls, permeates your upholstery. So it soaks it in. So it's not just, okay to go in. That's going to off-gas for a while. So again, not a good idea. Outdoor air pollution, not good. Pet products, shampoos, whatever people are using on your animal, you're exposed to that as well. And of course, combustion particles are not good. Candles, petrochemical colored, paraffin-based candles, not good. Definitely don't burn those. And here's something to be aware of. There are many chemicals that have no odor at all. In fact, natural gas has no odor. They put a chemical in natural gas so you can smell it. And if you smell it in your house, you got a problem. And there are same thing in the industrial world for body care products and cleaning products. They actually have another category of chemical called a masking agent. And the masking agents are designed so that they can numb your olfactory nerve so you don't smell the bad chemical smell. So two different things, but very commonly used.
Are soy-based candles better?
Well,
Soy has its own issue, but.
Well, yeah, conventionally grown GMOs, pesticides, herbicides, and the process to take soy oil, which is a liquid, and convert it to a wax is called hydrogenation. And hydrogenation is not allowed under the USDA organic program, and here's why. Because you have to cook the oil to 2,000 degrees in a unit called a reactor, like a nuclear reactor, because the temperature and pressure is similar to the core of a nuclear reactor. And they introduce at that time a heavy metal catalyst. They commonly use nickel because it's cheap. And the catalyst and the reactivation, reaction plus the heat and pressure creates a wax. So how do you get an oil to 2,000 degrees? You burn a lot of coal for a long time. Not healthy, not good. Your best bet still is beeswax, without color and without chemical fragrance. And if you can get organic beeswax, even better, because it will be from an area that's more pristine and you're not going to have any residues or minimal residues of, the man-made pollutants that are out there. Okay, question. When your bottle of body lotion is empty, where did it all go? Prize! Yeah, that whole body, whole lotion bottle goes into your body. So I don't know how many you use, but something to think about. Make sure I'm not going to pull anything apart. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for good answers and being aware. It's the same thing with lip balms. It's a product that you eat. It's a body care product that you eat. And there are companies that put chemical sunscreens in lip balms. They were never tested as food additives or for long-term safety, and people buy them by the thousands.
Your chocolate orange lip stuff is like the best thing.
That's my favorite. And the mint.
I've been using that for a couple of years now.
That's what real is like. Yeah.
The Terressentials, it's a chocolate, white chocolate.
It's cocoa butter, coconut oil, real organic vanilla, and in that case, real orange, certified organic, every ingredient.
I do get a little sunburn sometimes on my lips though, and I'm wondering, like I use the lizard lips from Common Market. What do you think
I don't,
about that?
I don't, I don't comment really on other companies' products, and I'm not familiar with the product either.
What
Yeah.
you do with sunscreen when you're feeling
That's a whole nother talk we have to have at the library. But that's a good question. We have an article on our website, The Truth About Sunscreens, and it's great information. Check that out. Everybody should read that one. Okay, we talked about eye penetration. So here you go, okay? Ooh, a lot of makeup today, even what they call mineral makeup, is nanoparticles. So small they can pass between the walls of red blood cells, so they can permeate soft tissue and get into your eye. And where do women put makeup? On their eyes, right on their nose, on their face. You're inhaling it, eye absorption. And here's the skin. Okay, every hair on your head, every hair on your arm is a hole. And here's where it goes. Into the subcutaneous layers where the network of capillaries are, can affect the follicles, enters the bloodstream, and can be carried and circulated throughout the body within minutes. So, and also, our skin is very porous. And when it's wet, we soak up more. It becomes more absorptive when the skin is wet than when it's dry. I must have, whoops, let's try. Okay, this is fun. So, ingestion. And I see this. It's so hard for me to go to the grocery store and be behind people with kids, and I see what they buy. I'm like, oh, I gotta stick a sock in my mouth. Okay, because look at these colors. These are all from gasoline byproducts. If it's not real, it's artificial. This is what it is. So in here I just picked on colors because I thought this was really ripe. And here's this little boy with the blue dye in his mouth and in his cupcake. And, you know, just the colorful stuff. I really wanted to put cocktails in here too, but I couldn't find a good picture with colorful cocktails. You know, this is a big source of chemical exposure, just, you know, what people eat. And, you know, don't forget, when you're making all this stuff, these chemical dyes go into the water. You're rinsing out that mixing bowl with all the dyes. It goes into our water.
Can I take a picture of that real quick?
Sure.
I'm going to show this to my daughter.
Sure.
7-year-old daughter.
No problem.
I'm trying to educate her too.
You said cocktails, so alcoholic beverages.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen some of these cocktails at like some of the swanky like resort clubs? They're like bright blue. I mean, they use chemical dyes. You know, and so that's why I wanted to put cocktails. It's not just kids and not just cake. They use chemical dyes and artificial flavors. Even natural flavors aren't really natural. So really what you want, if you want a flavor, get real vanilla extract or orange oil, essential oil. That's the natural route. That's the way to go. Yes. Okay, yes, we talked about some of this, but ingestion, third source of toxic exposure, is via ingestion. And that's, remember, eating is your third source. And here are examples of, if you're not eating organic food, I'm sorry, but you're going to have residues of pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, defoliators. Defoliators are used in strawberry fields. They kill all the top leaves so they don't miss a single strawberry. Doesn't kill the plant. It's kind of like Agent Orange. And then they also use growth hormones on apple trees to regulate the bumps on the bottoms of the apples. There are so many ag chemicals that are out there, and you know they don't have to put it on the label. So we have petroleum-based preservatives that are used in natural organic body care and in foods all over the place. Of course, artificial colors, flavors, synthetic flavor enhancers, MSG, which is an excitotoxin, a neurotoxin. So you got to think about when you're eating that, and yeast extract. Proteins, natural flavors can all be sources of these excitotoxins, which are glutamate compounds. Stabilizers, solubilizers, which are used to keep oils or flavorings mixed in like a beverage or a soda. if you're drinking it. Then synthetic stabilizers, dough conditioning agents, which are used in bread products at the industrial level. And then lots of industrial food processing residues. There are 2,000 some that are currently on the FDA list. They don't have to put it on the food label. When they lubricate those conveyor belts that your muffins are going on, oil can get on there, it gets in the food, and those are okay. They have these lists. And then, of course, waters and chemicals in tap water. Everything you use and your neighbors use, it all goes into the water. We got to stop that because it's irresponsible and it's just dumb. You know? Okay, let me see what I got next. Oh, truth bomb. Okay, I think I mentioned this. No legal definition of the words pure and natural. What? So without legal definitions, many companies, and you probably have seen them, they say natural, they say organic, with no third-party verification, no legal definition. Companies are free to do what they want. Fortunately, there have been some class action lawsuits, but you know what? There are just so many people doing it. It's not really solving the problem right now. Does anybody know what this means? Yes. That is the symbol for our federal law, the National Organic Program. If you have been inspected and you comply with the regulations and you can document what you're doing, you are free to use that seal on the front of your bottle. Otherwise, it's illegal. So here, the National Organic Program law was enacted 2002. And the certified organic operations and products are we are inspected. They review our purchase orders, our production logs, our facility to make sure that all the materials that we say we bought ended up in the products and back and forth. So they do random checks with products to make sure that you're doing what you say that you're doing. So the seal is really important. And it is a pain in the butt. It's a lot of work and many hours to keep that information. And we have to keep records for 5 years. So it's a lot that's involved, but I personally feel, how else can we prove that we're the real deal if we don't do that? So that's why we do it. Uh-oh. Okay, this is important. I wanted to put this in because so many people are now, I've been involved in this business for nearly 30 years, and when we started, people were like this, essential oils, what's that? But now they've crossed over to mainstream. You can find them in stores. But I wanted to point this out. This is a professor from University of Vienna, and they did a lot of research, and that's what they found, that 90% of the essential oils that they examined in their study were adulterated. The Times of India, and that's where a lot of essential oils are grown and distilled, because India has such varied climates and they produce great oils. But the Times said 98% of the essential oils and perfumes are adulterated. And so if I go back to that USDA seal, you got to look for that, because that means that the farm was inspected, the steam distiller was inspected, the people who packaged it in drums were inspected, my suppliers who break down the drums into more manageable, 5-gallon, 2-gallon containers that we buy, they're inspected, and then I'm inspected. So it's a whole chain of verification. And the reason that people are using essential oils is to relax, to chill out. They're using them for personal health reasons. So that's why it's so important that you look for that USDA seal. Because if you're using it, you're inhaling it. Remember, that's our #1 source. Skin absorption. You want to make sure that you are getting the best quality that has the most integrity.
They said the same thing about olive oil I had heard of.
Oh. Because they blend it with cheap oils, soybean, and then it was a huge expose in the newspapers and on television, and it goes on a lot. So again, certified organic really is your best bet. Nothing is perfect. Okay, the world isn't perfect, we're not perfect, but if you want your best options, you got to look for the seal, because as long as we have it, that's all we have. So support that, and you support organic farmers and other people who are seeking health like you guys. Presumably, that's why you're here. Oh, I wanted to go back to that slide there, because that one's really important. Whoops. Okay, here's the thing. When you have an infant, and this I wish Heidi were in here. She was working the table without me. She had a baby 2 years ago, and she was shocked what they were washing her baby with at the hospital, and she's stopping them. Newborn infants, their immune systems aren't even developed really until about 18 to 24 months. They breathe a lot more than we do, so they're really susceptible to, and their bodies are small and compact. I can't tell you. They cry, but you don't really know what's causing the issue. So the best thing to do, keep that stuff away from babies and while you're pregnant, and get your husband to keep away from this stuff too, because they now know that the chemical exposures can cause damage to the sperm, which then can be, when it's combined with the egg, we end up with, problem. So that's why I wanted to put that slide there, because I'm concerned about children. We make baby products, and I'm really sad to say they are our slowest selling line, and I don't know why. I feel they should be the #1 sellers, and they're not. So I wanted to put that in there, that there are options for people. My hero, Dr. Colburn, I'm sure you can find her book in the library. She is, well, right there, I think one of history's most important scientists. She coined the term endocrine disruptors. She showed that chemicals in tiny amounts, contrary to what companies and even government agencies will tell you, tiny amounts have profound effects on our bodies. And her book is excellent. She had a website. Unfortunately, she died a few years ago, and her website was up, but now it's gone. I guess she didn't put in her will or her estate to maintain that. But the book is great, and all of her studies, the reports that she amassed and put together are just amazing. And so she is the woman who discovered this is what's happening to us. And animals who live in the water and drink the water, who live in our homes and breathe the chemicals, it's ill health. And so she's amazing. I highly recommend her book. Okay, here we go. Take action. Okay, you're going to be proactive, take care of yourself. So reducing your daily exposure to toxic chemicals, first thing you can do is you minimize, because remember, inhalation and skin absorptions are your two main routes of toxic exposure. So take a look at what you're bringing into your house and you're rubbing into your body and what you're inhaling. So look at all these things. Bubbly products, shampoos, body washes, face cleansers, hand cleaners, bubble baths. Hair conditioning products. Many, many shampoos and conditioners today contain liquid plastics, polyvinyl pyrrolidone, vinyl. And when you inhale these particles, as they dry and flake off, they can become embedded in your lungs. And over time, this can reduce your pulmonary capacity, because you have many little particles embedded in your lung and tissue grows over that. So plastics in our bodies, not good. Styling aids, dyes, bleaches, straighteners, depilatories, deodorants, nail polish, and the removers, makeup. All of this stuff, you put it on you, but remember, you're buying the products from those factories that we saw on the second slide. So you're giving your approval to those companies to continue to make, you're giving them money. You're paying them to make polluting products. Yes? It's in everything. It's in mattresses. It's used in a foam. I don't know the exact name of that, but I used to actually work for a company who also did fire retardant chemicals that they would spray on steel structures for buildings.
It's all in our bodies now.
Many chemicals are. If you look at Teflon, okay, when they introduced that, everyone thought it was great, and now we all have Teflon in our bodies, the PFA compounds. So you got to be aware, ask the questions, and make the right choices. And of course, backing up, replace with USDA certified organic whenever you can find the products, because that's your best bet. Okay, reducing your daily exposure to toxic chemicals. How about we take a look at the household and textile products? Everything you use to wash your dishes. Did you know they put agents in dishwashing products so that your dishes won't spot? So there are chemicals, polymers that are on your dishes, and then you put your food on that, you reheat it in the microwave. Not good. So air fresheners, really not good. Anything with a chemical fragrance in the laundry product, disinfectant chemicals, those are regulated by the EPA as pesticides. So not good. And then, of course, reducing polyurethane foam in upholstery and your furniture, your bedding. Anything vinyl, get rid of it. Carpets, plastic shower curtains, plastic clothing, we talked about that, nylon, polyester, acrylic, not good. Shoes, cotton, linen shoes are great. You got to look at the materials because your feet can absorb a lot. You're wearing your shoes 12 hours a day. Okay, plastic food wrap, avoid that, and plastic storage containers, and please never heat food in plastic. And replace with natural cleaning aids that work great. We make a real soap. I use that for cleaning my dishes, my hands, the floor, everything. And it works great. We don't need all the chemical stuff. I keep baking soda, vinegar on hand, always. And of course, we have organic essential oils. You can make your own sprays with organic essential oils, and you can buy organic vodka at the liquor store and blend them together, and you have a great spray that's inexpensive. Switch to steel or glass for cooking, stainless steel or glass for cooking and storage. And you look at, I brought some hairbrushes that were made from bamboo, natural rubber, and wood. So the whole thing is a botanically based product. It's completely biodegradable. When it's done, you could bury it, and it will be naturally composed instead of plastic, combs and brushes, little things. And by the way, plastic breaks your hair. Cuts your hair, not good. So if you're trying to grow your hair, you want natural things. You can buy calcium carbonate. It's what they put in Tums, but you can buy little bottles of it, and it makes a great scrubber. If you mix calcium carbonate with our Castile soap, you've got, voila, cleanser that doesn't have strange stuff in it. So anyway, there are whole websites and books out there talking about natural cleaning products. I advocate for organic vinegar, organic essential oils, organic everything, whenever you can find it. Okay, we talked about clothing before. Again, think about it. You wear clothing all day long, all day. Well, sometimes people sleep naked in the summer, and that's okay. But otherwise, you're going to be wrapping your breasts in polyester. Poly is many. Esters mean chemical compounds. These are gasoline byproduct esters. And the reason that plastics remain soft, like your bra is flexible and cushy, is because it's loaded with phthalates. Phthalates are endocrine disruptors, and they can be carcinogenic. And then there's also the dyes. Oh, you like that pretty purple bra, but guess what? Studies have shown that our bodies, through skin contact, can absorb these chemical dyes. And when you wash the clothing, the dyes go into the water, and now we have found microparticles of plastic in the oceans and fish from people doing laundry with plastic clothing. It's becoming more difficult to find natural fiber clothing at any big department store, any store. You got to read the labels. So you might have to go online to find clothing. There's a shop in town, Frederick, that opened on Pearl Street. I'm sorry, it's called Pearl on Patrick Street. She has natural fibers, nice clothing, linen, flax, cotton. So that's a nice option. And of course, organic. You can get organic textiles, so that's a great option. Okay, don't forget about the outside of your house. You know, because your pets, your children, your grandkids, they're playing in that grass. Okay, and it's on their shoes, they track it into the house, they're rolling in it, they're playing, they're being exposed. So watch out for the fertilizers, pesticides. If your neighbors are using it, it floats onto yours. Talk to them, see if you can reason with them. Do whatever you can, because when it rains, all this stuff goes down into the sewers and ends up in our waterways as well. Car cleaners, lubricating oils, white wall cleaners, really? But guys are big on all these fancy car products. Okay, any plastic tools, because they break. They're cheap, and we buy them, but then they break. And then what do you do with them? In a landfill, the plastic never really breaks down, but it leaches chemicals for its life, for as long as it's alive. And then this irks me. Putting gasoline on your charcoal to get it started, and then you cook your food on that. That's just crazy. Treated wood products, decking for your decks outside, treated wood, no good. Copper, arsenic, carcinogenic compounds. Don't make garden beds out of treated wood, or birdhouses, or chicken coops, or decks. Not good. And by the way, household cleaning products and all of these products mentioned here, they're considered hazardous waste by the county. So really, to dispose of this stuff, you can't put it in your trash. You have to take it to the county hazardous waste site and dispose of it. Isn't that crazy? Floor cleaners and things like that are hazardous waste.
And to give a plug, the next hazardous waste drop-off is May 19th of the safety training facility.
Thank you very much. Okay, mark that on your calendars because you're all going to be purging everything, right? Okay. Come on there.
So you know those,
Okay.
that charcoal that you can buy it in a bag and you just light the bag?
It's impregnated
It's
with,
already in there.
yeah, so you just want natural wood charcoal, you know? Yeah, So, and everybody sells that now.
Okay.
This is us. It's what we do. I'm obsessively anti-chemical. I don't want anybody to get cancer and go through what I did. I don't want to get it again. So we have a table up front, and we have a shop right in front of the library. It's a great place to visit. It's really fun. And that's the team, part of the team anyway. And that's our farm up in Middletown. And I just wanted to thank you all for coming and listening to me go on and on my soapbox. It's an organic soapbox at least, so. Yes. If you have any questions about anything, our ladies are really educated and informed.